There's a very real chance that NASCAR is about to make major changes to the sport, both to the car and to how they determine the championship, both of which are good news for fans. There's no denying the fact that in recent years, both at the track and on TV, NASCAR has suffered a decline in viewership. And the fact that NASCAR is on 3 to 4 different networks throughout the course of one season, and that it might be oversaturated in some markets, certainly isn't helping. At its core, the two biggest problems NASCAR faces in terms of attracting viewers to their sport is the car itself and the idiotic way they currently crown a champion. First off, let's talk about the car itself. The 7th generation of NASCAR's Cup car, aka the next-gen car, is arguably the most technologically advanced stock car there has ever been. However, the one thing not getting an upgrade in tech were the engines, and they actually got a downgrade to where they are now making about 680 horsepower. And you have to remember, it wasn't all that long ago where a NASCAR Cup car's engine was making 900 horsepower. And when you combine that with the fact that these cars are extremely aero-sensitive, and it is very easy to cut off the air to the car behind you just by driving in front of them, and all of this has led to the fact that at some tracks in certain situations, it's nigh on impossible to pass the car in front of you. However, NASCAR does have a solution for this, and that is to give the engines more horsepower. How much horsepower are they getting? Well, the cars are being bumped from 680 horsepower to 750. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but hey, we'll take whatever we can get. But there's one thing you need to consider, and that is the fact that the actual engine builders, the companies building the engines for the Cup cars, they have been building an engine to a spec under this rule set for a few years now. And simply put, these engines probably can't handle 900 horsepower for the entirety of a NASCAR Cup race. So they came to the conclusion that 750 horsepower was the most amount of horsepower they could give these engines without risking grenading almost every engine during every single race. Which brings me to the second thing NASCAR is changing. It's no secret that next year we will see a different format for determining a champion at the Cup Series level. And the odds-on favorite for the new format is what's called the 3-3-4 format. Simple explanation is it's very similar to the current format we use today. However, while today's format uses one race in the championship round to determine a champion, the 3-3-4 would use 4 races in the final round to determine a champion. And you don't need to have a degree in rocket surgery to understand that the 3-3-4 is vastly superior to what we have now. And that's why it was the odds-on favorite in this committee NASCAR created at the beginning of the season to be the next format of NASCAR's championship. Another option was the old school approach, i.e. a 36 race championship. And early on, it had next to no momentum. It didn't look like it was in any way possible. However, recently it started to pick up fairly significant momentum, to such a degree where at one point it was a foregone conclusion that the 3-3-4 was going to be what we used. It's now distinctly possible that we could end up with a 36 race championship.